The sky above Earth was dark, not because it was night, but because something huge was blocking the sunlight. Millions of people stood on the streets and looked up. Their faces were pale. Their hands were shaking. Their hearts were beating fast. In the sky, thousands of alien ships were floating like black clouds. They were silent. No sound. No warning. Just fear. For 3 years, humans have been fighting against the strongest alien empire in the galaxy. Planet after planet had fallen. Civilizations were destroyed in days. Entire worlds were turned into dust. Now it was Earth's turn. Inside the main human defense base, deep under the ground, Commander Ethan Walker stood in front of a large screen. The screen showed Earth from space. Red dots covered the planet. Enemy targets. Enemy ships. Enemy weapons. Every red dot meant danger. Every red dot meant death. Around him, officers were running. Some were shouting. Some were crying quietly. Some were typing fast on computers. Commander, shields are at 40%. Sir, satellite system is damaged. Enemy fleet is moving closer. Ethan did not move. He stood still. His hands were behind his back. His face was calm. Too calm. Major Lucas, his second-in-command, walked closer. Sir, there are too many, Lucas said in a low voice. We can't stop all of them. Ethan slowly turned his head. He looked at Lucas. Do you trust me? Ethan asked. Lucas swallowed. Yes, sir. With my life. Ethan nodded. Good. Outside in space, the alien flagship moved forward. It was bigger than any human ship. It looked like a floating city made of metal and fire. Inside that ship, Supreme Commander Zorvok sat on his throne. Zorvok was tall. His skin was dark blue. His eyes were golden. They had no mercy. Around him stood his generals. They were smiling. This planet looks weak, one general said. Yes, another replied. No strong defense. No advanced weapons. Zorvok leaned forward. Open communication, he ordered. A few seconds later, the screen in front of Ethan turned on. Zorvok's face appeared. Huge, cold, powerful. Many officers stepped back in fear. But Ethan did not move. Zorvok spoke in a deep voice. Humans of Earth, he said, your resistance ends today. Ethan looked at the screen. Maybe, he replied calmly. Zorvok narrowed his eyes. You're not afraid? He asked. Ethan smiled slightly. Fear is a choice, he said. We don't choose it. Some officers looked at him in shock. Zorvok laughed. A loud, cruel laugh. You are brave, Zorvok said. But bravery does not save weak species. He raised one hand. On the screen, several alien ships moved closer. Weapons started charging. Bright energy gathered at their fronts. Before we destroy you, Zorvok continued, we want to understand you. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Understand us, he asked. Yes, Zorvok replied. Every strong race has elite warriors, special soldiers, perfect killers. He leaned closer to the screen. Which human is your sniper? He asked. Which one is your best? The room became silent. Officers looked at each other. Some were confused. Some were scared. Lucas whispered, Sir, they're asking about our top shooter. Ethan did not answer immediately. He looked at the screen. Then, slowly, he smiled. Not a big smile. Not a proud smile. A calm, confident smile. Pick any civilian, Ethan said. They don't mind. The room froze. Lucas's eyes widened. What? He whispered. Several officers turned toward Ethan. Sir, what did you say? One asked. Zorvok stared at him. His generals looked confused. A civilian? Zorvok repeated. Yes, Ethan replied. Any normal person. Shopkeeper. Teacher. Driver. Student. Zorvok burst into laughter. His generals joined him. Is this a joke? Zorvok said. You are facing extinction and you joke? Ethan's smile did not fade. No joke, he said. Zorvok wiped tears of laughter from his eyes. Humans are truly foolish, he said. Your civilians are weak. They hide when war comes. Ethan leaned slightly forward. On Earth, he said, war never leaves. Zorvok frowned. What do you mean? Before Ethan could answer, alarms started ringing. Sir, an officer shouted, enemy drones are entering the atmosphere. On the big screen, hundreds of small alien drones were falling toward Earth like shooting stars. They were fast, deadly. Each one could destroy a city block. Activate city shields. Lucas ordered. Already active, another officer replied. But they won't hold long. In space, Zorvok watched calmly. Let us test your civilians, he said. The first drones reached the city. They fired energy blasts. Buildings exploded. Streets broke. Smoke filled the air. People ran. Cars crashed. Chaos spread. Zorvok smiled. See, he said. They run. Ethan watched silently. On another screen, a small camera feed turned on. It showed a street. A small shop. Broken windows. Fire everywhere. A middle-aged shopkeeper was standing behind a broken wall. He was breathing fast. His hands were shaking. Zorvok pointed. This is your soldier? He mocked. The shopkeeper looked around. Then he reached under his counter. He pulled out a long black case. He opened it. Inside was a sniper rifle. High-tech, clean, perfectly maintained. The shopkeeper's face changed. Fear disappeared. Focus appeared. He placed the rifle on the wall, adjusted the scope, took a deep breath. Zorvok's smile faded. What is this? He asked. On another screen, a school teacher was helping children hide. Then she picked up a small device. She pressed a button. A nearby drone exploded. In another place, a delivery boy climbed onto a rooftop. He opened his bag. Inside were explosives. He planted them. Boom! 3 drones vanished. Inside the control room, officers stared in shock. Lucas whispered, Sir, they are fighting. Ethan nodded. Yes, he said softly. They always do. Zorvok stood up from his throne. His voice became sharp. Send more drones, he ordered. Thousands more fell from the sky. But this time, they did not fall freely. Missiles came from buildings, lasers from rooftops, sniper shots from windows. Every street became a battlefield. Every home became a bunker. Every human became a warrior. The shopkeeper fired again. Another drone fell. He did not smile. He did not celebrate. He simply reloaded and aimed again. Zorvok's hands tightened into fists. This is impossible, he said. They are civilians. Ethan looked at the screen. They are humans, he replied. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. Sir, an officer shouted. Enemy drone network is failing. Zorvok turned. What? He roared. Signals are being hacked. On Earth, underground systems activated. Hidden antennas rose. Old satellites woke up. Secret networks connected. Within seconds, alien drones started crashing into each other. Some lost control. Some exploded. The sky filled with fire. Zorvok's generals looked terrified. This planet, one whispered, it is alive. Zorvok stared at Earth. His golden eyes were no longer full of pride. They were full of doubt. He slowly looked at Ethan. You planned this, he said. Ethan shook his head. No, he replied. We prepared. Zorvok was silent. For the first time in his life, he was not sure. The screen showed humans still fighting, still standing, still refusing to fall. Ethan spoke one final line. This is only the beginning. And somewhere in space, the strongest alien empire started to feel fear. The burning skies slowly became quiet. Smoke still covered the cities. Broken buildings stood like silent ghosts. Fire trucks moved through the streets. Rescue teams searched for survivors. But one thing was clear. Earth was still alive. Inside the underground command center, Commander Ethan Walker watched every screen. His eyes were tired. Dark circles showed under them. But his mind was sharp, very sharp. Major Lucas stood beside him. Sir, they stopped attacking, Lucas said. On the main screen, the alien fleet was no longer moving forward. Their ships were floating far away, waiting, watching, thinking. Ethan crossed his arms. They are confused, he replied, and confused enemies make mistakes. Inside the alien flagship, far above Earth, inside the giant alien flagship, silence filled the command hall. Supreme Commander Zorvok stood in the middle. His generals were sitting quietly. No one was smiling now. No one was proud. All screens showed the same thing. Destroyed drones. Burning ships. Human civilians fighting like trained soldiers. Zorvok slowly turned. "Explain," he said. General Krell stepped forward. "We scanned their population," Krell said. 90% are not military." Zorvok's eyes burned. "Then why do they fight like warriors?" No one answered. Zorvok clenched his fists. "Show me their past," he ordered. "Everything. Earth's dark history." A large screen changed. Old images appeared. They were from Earth's history. Wars. Explosions. Ruined cities. Crying children. Graves. Too many graves. Krell spoke slowly. "Humans have fought each other for thousands of years." Images showed ancient battles. Then modern wars. Then global conflicts. They never had peace for long, Krell continued. Every generation learned how to survive. Zorvok watched silently. The screen showed training camps. Young people learning first aid, learning shooting, learning survival skills. Another image showed schools. Children practicing emergency drills, building shelters, learning how to escape bombs. Zorvok frowned. "They train children for war?" he asked. "Yes," Krell replied. "Not for attack. For survival." Another image appeared. Natural disasters. Earthquakes. Floods. Storms. Fires. Humans helping each other. Rebuilding. Starting again. They fight nature, Krell said. They fight disease. They fight hunger. They fight each other. And they never stop. Zorvok slowly sat down. "So, their whole life is battle," he whispered. "Yes," Krell said. "Earth is not a peaceful world. It is a training ground. A hidden program." Another general, Varn, stepped forward. "We found something else," Varn said. "A secret system." Zorvok looked up. "Show me." The screen changed again. Underground tunnels. Hidden bases. Secret rooms. Computers. Weapons. Medical labs. "They call it the Civil Defense Network," Varn explained. "Every city has it. Every village has it. Every home is connected." Zorvok stared. "Explain." Varn took a breath. "If war comes, every citizen becomes a soldier. They know where to go, what to take, how to fight, how to heal, how to survive. They practice this every year." Zorvok felt something strange. A feeling he never felt before. Respect and fear. Back on Earth. Inside the command center, Lucas looked at Ethan. "Sir, they are scanning us heavily," he said. "They are studying everything." Ethan nodded. "Let them," he replied. "We are showing them only what they can handle." Lucas hesitated. "What do you mean, sir?" Ethan walked toward another screen. He typed a code. A new map appeared. Red lines. Blue points. Hidden zones. "Earth has layers," Ethan said. "Surface defense. City defense. Underground defense. Orbital defense. And final defense." Lucas's eyes widened. "There is more." Ethan smiled slightly. "Much more." The story of Sarah. On one screen, a live camera showed a small hospital. Doctors were treating injured people. Among them was a young woman. Her name was Sarah Miller. She was a nurse, 26 years old. Before the war, her life was simple. Work, home, friends, dreams. Now, she was cleaning blood from her hands. A soldier was lying on a bed. He was badly hurt. Sarah looked at him. "Stay with me," she said softly. The ground shook. Another explosion. Lights went off. Emergency lights turned on. An alien drone crashed into the hospital roof. People screamed. Doctors ran. Sarah froze for 1 second. Then she moved. She ran to a locker, opened it. Inside was a small metal box. She took it out, opened it. Inside were weapons, a pistol, grenades, medical tools. She took the pistol. Her hands were steady. She walked into the hallway. The drone entered. Its eyes glowed red. It aimed. Sarah fired. 3 shots. Perfect. The drone fell. Dead. She did not smile. She went back and continued helping patients. Zorvok watches. Zorvok was watching everything. Sarah, the shopkeeper, the teacher, hundreds of others. They do not fight for glory, he said quietly. They fight to protect. Krell nodded. They protect family, friends, strangers, even enemies sometimes. Zorvok remembered something. On one screen, he saw a human helping an injured alien pilot, giving water, calling medics. Why? Zorvok asked. They are enemies. Krell replied, humans believe life has value, even in war. Zorvok felt uncomfortable. His empire destroyed worlds without thinking, without regret. But these humans, they cried, they helped, they fought, they rebuilt, all at once. The warning message. Suddenly, a signal came, a direct message from Earth. Ethan's face appeared, not angry, not proud, just calm. Supreme Commander Zorvok, Ethan said, you wanted to understand us. Now you're learning. Zorvok stood. You hid your strength, he said. Yes, Ethan replied, because we don't show it unless needed. Zorvok asked slowly, why not attack first? Ethan answered, because we prefer peace, but we master war. Silence followed. Ethan continued, you tested our civilians. They passed. Zorvok's jaw tightened. Yes, he said, they did. A secret memory. Zorvok turned away. For a moment, he remembered his own past, his home planet, destroyed in an old war, his family lost. He became a warrior, a commander, a conqueror, because weakness meant death. Looking at humans, he saw something familiar. Pain, strength, refusal to surrender. Maybe, Zorvok whispered, they're like us, preparing for something bigger. Back on Earth, Ethan met with his top officers. They are not retreating. Lucas said, they are reorganizing. Ethan nodded. They learned lesson 1. What is lesson 2? Lucas asked. Ethan looked at the Earth hologram. Never corner humans. Because cornered humans, he paused, become monsters. The Shadow Fleet. Suddenly, alarm screamed. Sir, an officer shouted. New fleet detected. Everyone turned. On the screen, space opened like a dark ocean. Hundreds of hidden ships appeared. Black, silent, deadly. Lucas whispered. They kept a secret army. Ethan stared. Yes, he said. And now they're serious. Zorvok's decision. Inside the flagship, Zorvok watched his Shadow Fleet, his strongest force. Reserve for extermination. Prepare final protocol, he ordered. Generals looked shocked. That will destroy the planet. One said. Zorvok closed his eyes. Then open them. Humans are dangerous, he said. If we let them grow, they will surpass us. So we end this now. End of part 2. Back on Earth, Ethan felt the change. He whispered, so this is your answer. He looked at the stars. Then we will show you our final truth. Far away in space, 2 civilizations prepared for their darkest hour. And the real war had not even started yet. The stars above Earth began to change. They were no longer calm. They were no longer distant. They were moving, slowly, silently, like dark shadows sliding across space. Inside the underground command center, warning lights turned red. Sirens screamed. Screens flashed. Voices filled the air. Shadow Fleet entering orbit. Energy levels rising. Planet killer weapons detected. Major Lucas ran to Ethan. Sir, they activated final protocol, he said. That means full destruction. Ethan closed his eyes for 1 second. Then he opened them. Begin phase black, he ordered. The room went silent. Every officer stopped. Some looked scared. Some looked surprised. Some looked proud. Phase black was never used before. It was Earth's last answer. The hidden heart of Earth. Deep under the planet's surface. Far below cities and oceans. Something ancient woke up. Something hidden. Something powerful. For hundreds of years, humans had prepared. Not for victory. For survival. In a mountain in Antarctica, A massive door opened. In the deserts of Africa, metal plates moved. On the Pacific Ocean, lights turned on. All around Earth, old bunkers, lost bases, forgotten tunnels, became alive. Inside them were machines. Not normal machines. Living machines. Artificial minds. Defense systems. Weapons that never appeared in history books. The core network connected. Every base. Every satellite. Every weapon. Every human fighter. All became one system. One mind. One shield. One sword. Zorvok's first strike. From the alien flagship, Zorvok raised his hand. Fire, he said. The Shadow Fleet obeyed. Thousands of dark ships opened their fronts. Energy gathered. Blue, purple, white, like small suns. Then, they released. Beams of destruction flew toward Earth. They crossed space in seconds. On Earth, people looked up. Some prayed. Some cried. Some held hands. Some smiled. Because they trusted. They trusted their planet. They trusted their people. They trusted Ethan. Ethan watched calmly. Now, he whispered, the planet's shield. Suddenly, Earth began to glow. A soft blue light covered the planet. Like a bubble. Like a dream. Like hope. The alien beams hit the shield. Boom! Light exploded. Space shook. The shockwave traveled millions of kilometers. Zorvok stood up. What is that? He roared. General Krell checked data. A planetary shield, he said. But impossible. No species can build that. Another beam hit. The shield held. It did not crack. It did not break. It absorbed. It adapted. It learned. Zorvok's eyes widened. They made Earth the fortress. Inside the shield network, deep inside the shield control room, young engineers worked. Sweat on their faces. Hands shaking. But minds focused. One of them was David Chun. 20 years old. Student. Gamer. Dreamer. Now, protector of Earth. He watched numbers. They were dangerous. Pressure rising. David shouted, redirect power. A woman beside him, Maya, replied, on it. They worked like dancers. Fast. Perfect. Together. The shield changed shape. Moved energy. Balanced damage. Every hit made it smarter. David whispered, come on, hold. It held. Humanity strikes back. Ethan raised his hand. Return fire, he ordered. Space around Earth opened. Hidden cannons appeared. Satellite weapons unfolded. Stealth ships revealed themselves. Thousands of human weapons locked on targets. Fire. Light filled space. Golden beams. Silver missiles. Silent drones. The counterattack was beautiful and deadly. Alien ships exploded. One by one. Then dozens. Then hundreds. The Shadow Fleet was shocked. They never expected resistance. Never expected technology like this. Never expected civilians to become warriors. The Sacrifice Fleet. But Zorvok was not finished. Activate Bloodwing, he ordered. A group of alien ships moved forward. They were red. Burning. Unstable. General Varn gasped. Sir, those are suicide ships. Zorvok nodded. They will crash into the shield. They will break it. The Bloodwing accelerated. Faster. Faster. Straight toward Earth. Ethan saw it. Prepare Intercept Group Alpha, he said. A new fleet rose from Earth. Small ships. Fast ships. Piloted by volunteers. Civilians. Teachers. Drivers. Nurses. Engineers. People who chose to fight. One pilot was Sarah, the nurse, now wearing armor. Hand steady. Heart strong. This is Sarah Miller, she said on radio. Ready. Beside her was the shopkeeper. Ready, he said. The teacher. Ready. Hundreds of voices joined. Ready. Ethan closed his eyes. Protect Earth, he said. Battle of the Void. The two fleets met in space. Explosion. Fire. Light. Sarah flew between beams. Dodge missiles. Lock target. Target locked, she whispered. She fired. An alien ship vanished. But more came. One hit her wing. Warning alarm screamed. Damage critical, her system said. Sarah breathed. I'm still flying. she replied. She saw a suicide ship heading to Earth. Too close. No time. She made a choice. She smiled. For everyone, she whispered. She turned her ship, full speed, straight into it. Boom! A giant explosion. Both ships disappeared. The Blood Wing lost one more. The shield survived. Ethan watched silently. A tear fell, but he did not wipe it. Zor voxed out. Zor Vox stared at the battle, at the sacrifice, at the courage. They give their lives freely, he said. Krell replied softly, for their home. Zorvok felt something crack inside. His empire taught fear. Humans taught hope. Why do they not surrender? Zorvok whispered. Because they believe tomorrow matters, Krell said. The final weapon revealed. Suddenly, alarms in the alien ship rang. Unknown energy detected. A new structure rose from Earth. A giant ring in space. Glowing white, blue, gold. Ethan spoke. Activate Aurora Cannon. The ring charged. Energy gathered. All human power. All human pain. All human hope. Focus into one point. Zorvok shouted, stop them. Too late. The cannon fired. A beam wider than a city shot forward. It cut space. It cut time. It cut fear. The Shadow Fleet was hit. Half of it vanished. Gone. Like it never existed. Silence followed. The message. Ethan opened a channel. Zorvok, he said, this is our true power. Not our weapons. Not our shields. Our unity. Zorvok looked at him. Defeated. Shaken. Changed. You're not prey, he said. You are a storm. Ethan replied, and storms protect their land. End of part 3. The battle slowed. Smoke filled space. Stars returned. But war was not over. Both sides were wounded. Both sides had lost. And both sides knew part 4 would decide everything. Space was quiet again. Too quiet. After the great battle, broken ships floated like dead stars. Fire slowly faded. Smoke drifted into nothing. Earth's shield was still shining, but it was weaker now. Small cracks moved across it like spider webs. Inside the underground command center, Commander Ethan Walker stood in silence. His face looked older. His eyes showed pain. He remembered Sarah, the nurse, the hero, one of many. Major Lucas stood beside him. Sir, shield power is down to 30%, Lucas said. If they attack again, it may not hold. Ethan nodded slowly. They will attack, he replied. They always do. Inside the broken empire, on the alien flagship, chaos filled the halls. Screens were broken. Officers were injured. Some were crying. Some were angry. Zorvok sat on his throne, but he did not look like a king anymore. He looked tired, defeated. General Varn walked in. Sir, he said carefully, we lost half of the Shadow Fleet. Zorvok closed his eyes. Humans were supposed to be easy, he whispered. They were supposed to fall. General Krell replied, they are different. Zorvok opened his eyes. Yes, he said. They are. He stood up. Prepare Omega Wave, he ordered. The generals froze. Sir, Varn said, that weapon will burn the planet. And kill us if it fails. Zorvok looked at Earth on the screen. If we lose here, he said, our empire ends. So we risk everything. The secret betrayal. Back on Earth, Ethan studied new data. Something felt wrong. Enemy signals were strange. Too quiet. Too clean. Lucas, he said, check internal systems. Lucas typed fast. Suddenly, his face changed. Sir, someone is inside our network. From where? Ethan asked. Lucas swallowed. From inside Earth. The room went silent. A traitor? Ethan whispered. Before anyone could react, screens went black. Lights went out. Only red emergency lamps remained. System failure. Someone shouted. Power grid down. Shield control lost. Ethan's heart stopped for a moment. Find the source, he ordered. The man named Reed. Deep inside a forgotten bunker, a man sat alone. His name was Victor Reed, former scientist, former hero, now a broken soul. Years ago, aliens destroyed a city. His family died. He blamed Earth's leaders. He blamed Ethan. They promised protection, he whispered. They lied. In front of him was a device. Alien technology. Stolen. Modified. He pressed a button. I will end this war, he said, even if Earth falls. Earth without shield. In space, Zorvok saw it first. The shield is weakening, he said. A general smiled. Our chance. On Earth, people looked up. The blue light was fading. Fear returned. Mothers held children. Old men prayed. Young people clenched fists. Ethan watched the shield drop. Not like this, he whispered. Not today. Lucas, he said, send ground teams. Find the hacker. Lucas nodded. Already moving. The chase. Underground tunnels filled with footsteps. Human soldiers ran. Robots scanned. Drones searched. Signal located. An officer said, Sector 9 bunker. Ethan grabbed his weapon. I'm going, he said. Lucas protested. Sir, it's too dangerous. Ethan looked at him. If Earth falls, rank does not matter. They ran. Confrontation in the dark. The bunker door exploded. Smoke filled the room. Ethan walked in slowly. Reed stood near the console, a gun in his hand. Stop. Reed shouted. Ethan raised his hands. Victor, listen to me. You remember my name? Reed laughed bitterly. You remember nothing else. My family died, Reed said, while you were safe underground. Ethan's voice was calm. I lost people too. Reed shook his head. No, you still have Earth. I have nothing. He pointed the gun. I will finish this. Words instead of bullets. Ethan did not move. Victor, he said softly, look outside. Reed hesitated. Ethan pressed a button. A screen turned on. It showed civilians fighting. Doctors, students, old people, all working together. All of them lost something, Ethan said, but they still stand. Not for leaders, not for flags, for each other. Reed's hands trembled. They will die, he whispered. If you continue, Ethan replied, and your family's memory will die with them. Silence. Reed cried. The gun fell. I'm sorry, he whispered. Ethan stepped forward. He turned off the device. Power returned. Lights came back. Systems rebooted. Shield restoring. Lucas reported. Earth breathed again. Omega Wave begins. But it was too late. In space, Zorvok activated Omega Wave. A giant weapon opened, like a dark flower. Energy gathered, black and red. Firing in 60 seconds, a general said. Ethan looked up. We don't have time, he said. Prepare emergency plan. What plan? Lucas asked. Ethan smiled sadly. Plan humanity. Every human responds. All over Earth. Phones rang. Screens lit up. A single message appeared. Final defense. All units. All citizens. Now. People stood. Left homes. Left shelters. Moved to stations. Old systems opened. Hidden weapons rose. Even children helped carry supplies. Even elders guided teams. The planet moved as one. The human network. Ethan connected to the global system. Millions of faces appeared. Workers. Farmers. Students. Soldiers. Today, Ethan said, we choose fear or future. We choose future. One voice answered. Then thousands. Then millions. We stand. End of part 4. In space, Omega Wave charged. On Earth, humanity stood together. Two forces, two choices, destruction or defiance. And part 5 would decide who would remain. The universe seemed to hold its breath. Stars were silent. Space was still. Between Earth and the alien fleet, only darkness remained. And inside that darkness, the Omega Wave was growing. On the alien flagship, massive engines screamed. The weapon looked like a black sun. Red energy moved inside it like fire and blood. Charge level, 90%, a general announced. Zorvok stood tall, but his hands were shaking. He hid them behind his back. Continue, he said, yet inside his heart, doubt was rising. Earth's last stand. On Earth, Everything was moving. Trains carried weapons. Planes carried soldiers. Drones carried medicine. People walked side by side. Rich, poor, young, old, all together. Commander Ethan stood in the central control room. Millions of screens surrounded him. Each showed a part of Earth. He spoke quietly. Begin Unity Protocol. A woman beside him pressed a button. The human network came alive. Every phone, every computer, every satellite, every mind, connected. People shared power, shared data, shared courage. The planet became one body, one heart, one soul. The power of unity. Deep under Earth, giant energy cores opened. They were not nuclear, not chemical. They were emotional reactors. They used human brain signals. Hope, will, love, pain, all turned into energy. Scientists once said it was impossible, but humans built it anyway, because they never accepted impossible. As millions connected, the cores glowed, blue, gold, white, like stars under the ground. Power rising fast. Lucas said, beyond prediction. Ethan whispered, that's because it's not power, it's people. Zorvok's final memory. Inside the alien flagship, Zorvok looked at Earth. He saw light. He saw movement. He saw unity. It reminded him of his own past. Long ago, before he was a conqueror, he was a boy on a small planet, with parents, with dreams, with hope. Then war came. His people fought alone, divided, scared. They lost everything. That was when he learned. Only strength survives. But now, he saw another truth. Together survives. Krell stood beside him. Sir, humans are doing something strange. Zorvok nodded. They are becoming one. The voice of Earth. Ethan opened all channels, every frequency, every language, every species. His voice traveled through space. Zorvok, he said, and anyone listening, this war is not about power. It is about choice. We choose life. We choose future. We choose peace. Do you? The message reached alien ships. Many soldiers listened. Some felt shame. Some felt fear. Some felt respect. Zorvok closed his eyes. For the first time, he wished he had chosen differently. Omega Wave, final countdown. 10 seconds. A general said, Sir, stop. Krell asked quietly. Zorvok hesitated. 5 seconds. He looked at Earth again. At a planet that refused to die. At people who refused to hate. 3. Zorvok raised his hand. 2. His hand trembled. 1. Fire. Stop. Zorvok shouted. The command hall froze. What? General cried. Zorvok turned. No more, he said. We end this. General Varn protested. Our empire. Our empire is already dying, Zorvok replied, because it forgot why it was built. He pressed a button. Omega Wave shut down. The black sun faded. Darkness disappeared. Silence returned. Rebellion in the fleet. Not all agreed. Some generals screamed, this is weakness. They drew weapons. Chaos erupted. Shots fired. Alarms rang. But many soldiers sided with Zorvok. They lowered weapons. We are tired of killing, one said. Within minutes, a civil war began inside the alien fleet. Ships turned against each other. Command structures collapsed. The Empire cracked. Humanity does not attack. Ethan saw everything. Sir, Lucas said, their fleet is breaking. We can destroy them now. Ethan shook his head. No. Lucas stared. They attacked us. They killed millions. Yes, Ethan replied. And if we become them, we lose. He opened communication again. Zorvok, he said, stand down. We will not strike. Zorvok looked shocked. You spare us? We choose peace, Ethan replied. Again. The agreement, hours later, in space between fleets. A neutral zone formed. Zorvok's ship met Earth's command vessel. For the first time, human and alien leaders met face to face. No weapons, no guards, only truth. Zorvok bowed, not as a king, as a man. Humanity, he said, you defeated us without destroying us. Ethan replied, because tomorrow matters more than revenge. They signed a treaty. End of war. End of empire. Beginning of alliance. Message to the galaxy. A universal broadcast followed. Zorvok and Ethan stood together. This is a warning. Zorvok said, Earth is not prey. It is a protector. Ethan added, attack us, and you fight everyone. Respect us, and you gain family. The galaxy listened and learned. Heroes return home. On Earth, people returned. Cities rebuilt. Schools reopened. Hospitals healed. Sarah's name became legend. Streets were named. Stories told. Statues built, not of generals, of civilians, of ordinary heroes. The shopkeeper reopened his store with a small sign, closed during wars only. The teacher taught again. With pride, the delivery boy became a trainer, teaching others. Ethan's last speech. Years later, Ethan stood on a balcony, looking at peaceful skies. Lucas beside him. Do you think it will last? Lucas asked. Ethan smiled. No, peace is work. But humans are good at work. He turned to cameras. To the galaxy, he said, remember this day. On Earth, every human is a soldier, not for war, but for life. Final line, and across the stars, one truth spread forever. Never underestimate a species that turns pain into hope and civilians into legends. Globe showing Europe Africa sparkles.